What are we voting on?
Wasted money?
You shouldn't vote on that issue because technically under contract law, because they have accepted the contract,
Every one of them. I lost every one of
there's
them.
there's nothing to rescind.
The original motion was for an offer.
Frank?
So the original motion should be withdrawn. However, if you want to take action to rescind this contract, the motion needs to be, the township needs to take legal action with the police union and/or undergo negotiations with them to rescind this contract. So there doesn't necessarily have to be legal action, but we certainly can approach them before taking that step to change maybe some of the things in the contract that the two of you want to address.
So, you want me to withdraw my second?
Yes.
I will withdraw my second.
I'll withdraw the motion.
So then I'll make a motion then that we enter into talks with them to get the contract corrected. If not, I direct the solicitor to take the legal action to rescind the contract.
I'll second that.
Shouldn't that be
Did
two
you hear
separate
that?
motions?
Did you hear it or no?
No, I've
You
No,
guys
you're
need
not
a
to speak
microphone
up.
or stand up and speak up. Shouldn't that be two separate motions, solicitor?
No, it doesn't have to be.
So the motion is to talk to the road, talk to the police, have the solicitor talk to the police and have it changed to what anybody sees problem with, the two new members.
these people and pointing to.
Isn't that the purpose of going to executive session? And did we cover that the last meeting?
And if
What,
not, then to take the legal action to rescind it.
but what is the problem with the
You
contract?
don't have the
You have a
floor.
motion on the floor.
I have a motion, yeah.
Somebody needs a second.
I'll second it. I did.
Now you can have discussion.
No, he hasn't.
What are the problems with the contract?
Yeah.
Well, I asked at the last meeting why we couldn't just resolve it in executive session. You guys, I haven't read the contract. I'm not privy to it. I have no idea.
You are now.
Somebody said it was typos. What are the typos? What's the problem?
It's gonna take more than executive session.
So is that much trouble? I mean, is that any problem?
What, I mean, I don't know, never read it, don't know anything about it. I'm asking you guys what the problem is with the contract, why we're in impasse.
What's here just can't do it.
What's that?
You have to get it with the majority of the police department.
Oh, so the police department's not in agreement with the contract, but they all signed
I
it? Is
didn't say
that-
they were.
Oh, well, that's what we're asking.
Copies of the contract up there for people out here to look at.
So what you're,
No, there's
so,
only-
so what you're
that's an
saying
original.
is you
It's
want,
public knowledge, it's just like a
to-
Google one.
you
know, I was able to
want,
look at the teacher's contracts once they were.
so what you're saying is that you want to, if I understand the motion correctly, you want to re-enter into negotiations, even though there's a signed contract, because 2 of the 5-member board don't like what's in it. And if they can't come to an agreement, but I don't understand why 2 vote overrule 5, then we, the township, will sue the bargaining unit of the police, correct?
Mr. Fiddler, can I answer your question?
Yeah.
Because I think I can boil it down. The point is this, there are multiple problems with the contract, and now is not the time to go through those, multiple. It's more than just typos, I assure you. There's still typos in this contract here. You've read it. There's extreme,
You just said you didn't read it.
I can turn to page 6, look, everybody can see it right here. There's extraneous wording.
Okay, well, we don't have to go
in
to court for
words.
typos.
But the point is, there are multiple legal issues with the contract that they would like to address. So the motion on the floor is for the township to approach the police union to see if they will agree to enter into good faith discussions to address
They
some of
did,
those,
they signed it.
to address some of those
Frank.
issues. And if there's no agreement as to that, then the township, based on Mrs. Imes' motion,
I think that's an
would
improper
choose,
motion.
can choose to take legal action to rescind the
No,
contract
she's-
based upon it being a purely governmental contract that was passed in a lame duck session of the board.
I think that's an improper motion because since there's a contract in current, the motion would be to negotiate an MOU with the
Yeah.
police union.
Exactly. You're
But that's not
exactly
what
right.
That's not what the motion
That's not what
is.
the motion
Enter
said.
into good faith negotiations, and that could include a memorandum of understanding to change the current terms.
Okay,
Or we
Yeah.
sue them.
or we still,
Correct, that's the motion.
okay.
So the township is gonna sue another part of the township.
Yeah.
So is it still public comment?
Yep.
So here's my question. Is it the new supervisor's position to get this to renegotiations, even though it's already accepted contract, so that they can negotiate otherwise? Like, are we trying to get rid of any certain people or any certain, like, is this a
We're not getting rid of
personal?
anyone.
Okay, so your intentions are to work something out with the police department,
Yes.
that it currently exists?
Yes. No, what I'm saying is, Bob,
Or break the contract.
he said,
Or rescind it if,
Or break the contract.
Okay,
we'll sue you.
based upon the illegality.
He said.
I guess I'm a little bit at a loss as to how this is going to work. Are you going to be the one who approaches the the police department, the bargaining unit? Or are you having two members, or can all the board go, or how is this going to work?
Listen, I don't want to get into, I don't want to talk about somebody else's work on this contract. But my recommendation to the township would be to hire separate labor counsel at the same hourly rate that I am paid to review the contract, and someone that's separate and apart from advising the board directly to negotiate with
Were you
the
going,
police.
are you going to do that now?
That's
It
up
looks
to the
like
board. That's up to the board.
you're going to present that to the board now then, that they need to bring a negotiator in and now, but again, back to the original question. If you bring a negotiator in, who's going to sit in there? Just him and you, or is all 5 members or
I'm
2
not,
members?
no, I wouldn't be involved in the negotiations.
Okay, then, where do we go with the rest? How is it going to be set up?
How's it gonna be fair?
Typically, that,
Not
I-
typically, how is it going to be set
I
up?
can't answer that, because that's not for my decision. That might be a discussion that they could have in executive session if they chose, about that. But I'm not gonna, they can ask me what I think, but I'm not gonna tell them.
So you have no idea which way we're going here, but we
No.
are, there was nothing said until right now about a negotiator.
Right, that would be my recommendation. If we move forward with further good faith discussions, about the contract, that somebody other than myself do that,
It's
yes.
because Tammy must
Why
know
did
another
you
lawyer.
why did you wait, and I don't think you were gonna bring this up.
Discussions is not a motion.
I don't understand.
Story.
what you're saying.
Tammy made the motion, it was passed. It's never even voted.
It's seconded.
It's seconded, that's why we're allowed to talk about it now, finally.
Correct.
But you weren't bringing that up at all before now.
No, I wasn't gonna bring it up, no. But I
To
think
bring a
prob-
negotiator in, but you just said that was your thoughts on what should be done.
Correct, it is my thought. I think that if there's gonna be any further negotiation
Okay.
of this contract,
You've answered my question, thank you.
that someone other than myself should be the one to
No,
do
that's
that.
it, it's done.
Okay.
Call for a vote.
A call from the
You-
yeah.
Rick, you got a majority of the police department standing right there behind you.
No.
New regime.
Ed,
Nope.
Rich,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
I think it's appalling that we're even voting on this, no.
Rick,
Yes.
3 yes, 2 no, motion carried.
So I will make a motion then to seek outside counsel. Timothy.
We would like that too.
To serve as
Unity and saving us money, that's speaking well for you.
yeah.
Hold out the vote.
She's putting motion.
You need to get this under control,
Yeah.
all right? Run the meeting. People need to be under control.
right, I make a motion to retain Timothy Bergren Esquire at the rate of $125 an hour.
As you like.
Wow.
She already named them.
They already picked it.
I told you she knew another one.
Purpose of negotiating all township labor contracts in incorporation with the chairman and the vice chairman of the board of supervisors.
Township don't back up the attorney
Timothy
also?
Bergren,
What we need to do is stick it here, like, right there in that corner.
chairman of the
Spending money, spending money.
So you're assuming.
No, she said that. She said that.
Is that a motion?
We can't hear.
Would you repeat the motion,
Stand up
please?
and speak.
Stand up so somebody can hear.
Nope, she needs to stand up if she's gonna say this, and she's gonna do this to everybody, then she needs to say it bright and loud and clear.
I will.
Go ahead.
It's a motion to retain the services of Timothy Bergren Esquire at the rate of $125 an hour to serve as labor counsel for purpose of negotiating all township labor contracts in cooperation with the chairman and the vice chairman of the board of supervisors.
Wrong answer, thanks for playing.
Which would be
I got a
Mr.
question.
Fiddler and Mrs. Hines?
Yes, that would be correct.
And we already have a lawyer already mentioned?
Yes.
Oh,
You need a second.
I'll second it.
So we're gonna bring another one.
Oh,
Is that amazing?
I don't know.
Second.
Martin.
Martin.
My question is,
We're up to $2.50 an hour now.
why didn't they have this?
Yeah.
Question.
So this is.
The motion, the way it's written there now, that the chairman and vice chairman are the ones who are going to be sitting in on these? Is that the way I read it? Or
Yes.
what she said?
Yeah,
Okay, only those two?
yeah.
Okay, just so we know what,
Okay.
okay.
You can't have a majority, otherwise it becomes a public meeting.
Majority, sure. We don't even think it.
You could do it in executive
You
session.
could, but that's not what the motion is.
Okay. I thank you for all this. It's been very enlightening.
yeah.
Call for a vote.
Kathy,
No.
Tammy,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Ed, Rick,
Yes.
3 yes, 2 no, motion
Oh,
carried.
the puppets.
That's right, number one.
$2.50 an hour now.
Number one.
Motion to authorize the solicitor to develop an ordinance for the establishment of the position of township manager.
What's a township manager?
I'll second the motion.
$25 an hour, right?
You got a motion and a second? Is that what-
We gotta quiet down.
I wouldn't miss
Run
this
that
for the
again.
one. How stupid.
So, authorize the solicitor to develop an ordinance for the establishment of position of township manager.
Tammy seconded it. So now you can have discussion,
Now we have discussion.
public comment.
I have, is it time for discussion?
No, it's-
Okay,
No.
Betty Shingle once again. I just want to reiterate what the young lady down here said. Could we possibly work together and remember that you all that are sitting there are talking about the things you said you're gonna do, save us money and form unity. Both of those two things in the first half hour are completely short. Thank you.
So a township manager runs around, what, $50,000?
Oh, good.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know, haven't priced them.
Why do we
Could
need one?
advertise.
Yeah, what is a manager?
What do they
Could
do?
advertise.
Have we ever had a, have we ever had a township manager?
No.
Never. Why do we
No,
need
but
one?
he does need something to do.
Do we, so just one more quick thing, do we have commitment from the, I guess, the new people that we will still have a police department? You're gonna work
Still
it
have a
out,
police
and it'll be the
department.
current,
We still have a police, yeah.
okay.
And you're not changing anyone? You're not changing the
We're not
police
changing the
chief or
police-
any of the officers?
Police department.
Well, the reason I'm asking, because the last meeting, there was a big hullabaloo about Mr. Bush being going from part-time to full-time. And so we want to know, we're talking about the same thing.
They actually argued that in court.
we are talking about Chief Yankovic and his team.
We'll get to that.
We're not
What do you
even
mean
there
we'll get
yet.
to that? That's the question.
What does
It's
that
on the
mean?
You
agenda.
just said to her that that was what you were going to
That's
do.
it.
Excuse me. As you guys can imagine, nobody's more worried than me and my guys, okay? And I've always, back to the zoning, allowed everybody the opportunity to speak.
Hey,
Excuse me, just one
back to
second.
the side.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna ask you to please allow them to talk, allow them to do their business, and allow the people that have the right to talk, please. I don't want everybody getting all fired up. I don't want anybody getting in trouble.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
So you got a motion on the floor.
My motion on the floor.
I'd like to say something. Frank Archambault, good people,
I asked for the vote.
fought a good revolution to do away with inordinate ordinances. And now another one is being popped up. And it's a cut in an old wound that has healed.
What,
What would their duties entail?
Yeah.
Why do we need you?
We asked them to be, for it to be developed. That's what we asked for. it to be
Why?
developed.
Why?
There's never
Can't
been.
answer
We all wanna
that?
know why.
who made the motion? Rick, you made the
Yeah.
motion, right?
Yep.
That's what we want.
Okay, why?
Because the township manager oversees everything.
That's your job.
Yeah.
That's what you,
right.
that's why you guys are elected.
Isn't that what the people voted for?
We
Yeah, they
voted
vote
for
for
you
township
five,
manager?
right there.
No,
They didn't vote for
no,
township
they didn't
manager?
vote for
Did you
township
tell
manager.
people when you were, I was at the polls with you, did you tell people you wanted to elect or appoint a township manager?
No,
No,
nobody asked.
it never come out of your mouth.
Nope. No, it didn't.
So why do we need one?
To oversee everything.
You do that.
That's your job.
That's why we pay you.
Excuse me, can I ask you a question? Okay,
George.
gentlemen, you are new to the board, and I understand that you have things that you want to accomplish. And I think that's valid, you're welcome to do that. But this meeting was for you
It's
to
not the time.
reorganize the township for this coming year. Okay, not the first things on your agenda to meet your personal agendas to start the meeting. How about we reorganize the township the way it's supposed to be, and then when you come to your regular meeting, which will be sometime this month, I assume, that then perhaps after you've done this, you will consider waiting until then to take care of all these petty things that you want to get done.
Yes, that sounds
They have to get a
good.
Here, here.
manager.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the motion?
Authorize the solicitor to write up an ordinance for position of township manager.
No.
Is that right? Rich,
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Kathy?
No.
Rick?
Yes.
3 yes, 2 no, carried.
I make a motion to publicly advertise the position of township manager.
What was that? What was that?
To publicly advertise for the position of.
What's the
township
salary?
You don't,
Hasn't been set yet.
What, can you advertise when it isn't even created?
We elected
I don't
five
know.
guys to take care of the business. Attorney's supposed to help us. If you guys can't take care of the business, why don't you just step down, let somebody else get your office?
This election in 2 years, you're running.
That's exactly right, buddy.
Somebody like you.
What?
You can run in 2 years, Frank.
On what?
Any of you can run for supervisor in 2 years if you don't like what we do. Give it a chance. Give it a chance.
This is supposed to be reorganization as,
That's it, that's it. Quiet, hold it down. Bobby?
Bob Fisher, a few years ago, I ran for supervisor. I wasn't elected, thank goodness.
Yeah, dodge that bullet.
But after looking at all the stuff through the township, it needs to be reworked and redone. You're talking thousands and thousands of hours. These people can't do thousands of hours.
Well, they could if they got along. Can I just say, is that
I
gonna
believe
be
I
open to
still
the
have the
public?
floor.
That's fine. Well, I looked right at me, so I was responding to you.
You know, you divide that up, you know, that's 500 hours a year for each one of you. You've got that kind of time to spend there? You don't. But the people here don't understand what is needed to be done in this township. And the amount of hours and the amount of work it's gonna take to do it. There's things that this township's supposed to have ready and to go in their work, don't even exist in this township.
What?
Your emergency management plan, have you seen it?
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
there.
Got it.
Complete?
Yep.
Isn't Zach in charge of that?
Ask that
Zach,
Prescott.
Zach's it complete?
It's got a few holes in it, but basically it's a workable plan, yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Well,
I'm tired. I'm tired of generalities.
When
I'm
I
sick of
read-
hearing about how so many things ain't getting done. Be specific. What ain't getting done?
It's been 2 years to get electric in the building down to, at the township building.
Okay, not a top
It's been
priority.
It's been 6 months, we got a roof that's never been replaced. We got signs that this board approved and never put up. I could go
Those
on.
signs, those signs you guys approved.
Yeah, are they up? We get our money from Brains Resources?
Yeah.
They voted us for over almost a year, maybe a year.
Weren't
It's Christmas, it's hard to find somebody.
Yeah, call for the vote.
Lots of things that didn't get
Wait
done.
a minute, we didn't really get to discuss it.
So it's worth, so wait, it's worth
$50,000?
$50,000 to $70,000 plus benefits. Take
The
to,
township business is very complicated, Kathy probably can attest to that. You've got former secretaries sitting here, ask them how much works in that office, and how complicated it is.
I don't have to. I'm running the office. I was up until an hour ago, and I deal with Sharon. I know what's going on. You tell me what's being neglected.
Will the position for the township manager be publicly offered and applications taken?
Yeah.
Okay. And Sharon does a wonderful job, I just want to say. Every time we need her for real estate stuff, it's as quick and as efficient that I've seen at any township.
Thank you.
Call for the vote, Sharon.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
No.
Rick,
Yes.
Ed.
What are we voting on?
Motion to advertise for public.
To advertise? I'll vote for
Is that
that.
what it was? To
I'll vote for
advertise.
that.
Rick,
Yes.
4 yes, 1 no, motion carried.
Appointments to fill the following positions. Secretary Treasurer. Set the treasurer bond. Motion publicly advertised for the position of Secretary Treasurer. Yeah.
I'll second.
Good, some companies don't lose it.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I see this one coming.
Can you guys please speak up?
Yeah, they're, if you're proud of what you're saying, you say it out loud.
Amen.
Well, I didn't hear the last thing. What-
Yeah, I know you did.
Motion to publicly advertise for the position of Secretary Treasurer.
Well, don't we already have one? Oh,
Second.
oh,
We can have
okay.
discussion.
Any discussion?
I think Sharon's doing a fine job, and I think it's a slap in the face there.
Oh, wow, yes.
Any more?
She'll be able to, she can, apply.
She can apply for it.
Are you, I have a question. Along the lines of discussion.
I'm sorry, honey, you do a wonderful job.
Are you and,
I'm sorry for you
are
people.
Fiddler and Imes gonna be the only ones negotiating
That's
that,
a
or
shame.
hiring them?
No. Public comment.
Who will?
Marcy Wright, Donegal Township supervisor of whatever. I'm the chairman of the auditors. Sorry, I'm a little flustered. Sharon does an awesome job. She
Yes, she
deserves better than
Amen.
this. This is ridiculous. And we need to figure out what we're gonna do as a township to get them under control.
Impeachment.
There you go. There you go, right there. You said a mouthful.
Can you not say you offer Sharon to that position right now and you vote on it, or?
I said-
Yes, you can.
I said she could apply for it.
Why don't you apply for something?
Apply though is not right now,
Okay.
she's already serving it, I'm just asking. In boards that I've been in, when someone is in that position, they always say, are you intending on standing for the position? And then they consider that person, and that's, you're saying you don't want to do that.
There's boards every township, they open it up every year.
Okay, and you guys realize that you are not doing what your residents are wanting you to do.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, with the reputation of this township, there ain't nobody knocking the doors down for applications.
Amen.
You ought to take what you have.
I got a question for members of the Freedom Group that they took over. Tammy Mawson was the secretary if she would have stuck around. How many of you would have appointed her?
Absolutely.
I would have. Yes, I
I actually told her to her face.
would. So did I.
Yes, I
And
never had a
I would
problem with
have.
that lady either.
Yes, I would.
Okay. Call for the vote.
Yes.
No, Tammy accused her of cheating and lying. No.
Stealing money. Richard?
Yes.
Ed?
No,
Rick?
Yes.
3 yes, 2 no, motion carried.
I make a motion to appoint Sharon Secretary of Treasury.
Second.
That's, I have to speak up, that motion's out of line, Mr. Singh.
How's that?
Because the board already passed the motion within this meeting that's contrary to your meeting, so you can't bring that up for another month.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay, okay, I'm confused. So we're gonna go a month without a Secretary of Treasury?
I don't know what you're gonna do, I just know what the board just did. The board voted to advertise, to publicly advertise for the Secretary of Treasury.
So then technically we don't have one right now, correct?
Pardon me?
Then we don't have one. So we just made a motion to hire Sharon.
I'm sorry? No, you didn't, I don't think that's what your motion was.
No, that's exactly what the motion was.
I know you are. Yeah, you're fucking.
Mr. Torres,
I think the intent of the motion that just passed was that that
So
position,
you're,
that position.
wait,
Mr.
on
Siegel.
day one, you're gonna sit there and tell me I can't make a motion. Is that what you're telling me?
No, you can make a motion, but I'm gonna do my job as a solicitor, and when.
And run the friggin' township?
No, sir, no, sir. But when your motion is out of order, I'll let you know.
I'm telling you, this is
Question.
ridiculous.
Mr. Torres, legal question. Could he just not, could you kill two birds with one stone? And, excuse me, hey, could you make it an interim, as an interim Secretary of Treasurer, so not without one? And they could, if she even wants it? And secondly, is it not inappropriate for the chairman to make the motions? Isn't the other member supposed to make the motions and?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
No, not necessarily.
I thought proper
It's-
procedure for
It's a
chairman.
matter of, I guess, custom, and there's no rule that says it can't.
It's all gray in lawyer land, JD.
No, I'm just saying, that's a compromise, you could do it
Well, no,
interim.
technically we have a motion in a second.
Yeah.
Call for the vote.
No, he made a motion to hire you and I seconded it.
Them no good. I'm telling you.
We're on there, but.
Mr. Siegel made a motion to hire Ms. Sharon.
No, I didn't. I made a motion to appoint Sharon.
Isn't that the same thing?
Not in my mind. You're a lawyer.
Well, then, well, your motion's on the floor. I gave my legal opinion in terms of what I thought of your motions. The board can then vote based on that.
Call for the vote.
Kathy?
Yes.
Tammy?
No.
Rich?
No.
Ed?
Yeah.
Rick?
No.
Sharon, put
your
your
pencil
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
God bless you, Sharon.
Talk to me.
Once again, unity speaking loud and clear up there.
There you go. I don't blame her.
The voters spoke November 7th.
We get our
We
pay
didn't speak to get rid of the secretary.
They didn't speak to get rid of the secretary.
The voters elected you guys to run the township, not to hire a township manager.
They elected us to do what we see fit.
To run and supervise the township.
No,
Put their trust in
you were
you.
elected to represent us,
Right.
not what you see fit.
I'm telling you. I think we ought to get the Ku Klux Klan.
Anybody that's.
I'm serious.
Anybody want to take
Well,
minutes?
Tammy used to be a secretary, you take minutes.
Doug, you want to take minutes? Kathy Gilmore? Take either one of
Yeah, they had to
One
take
is-
my.
The one who gets voted.
Wait a minute.
That means she still holds the position.
Oh, that's a put up deal on
Wait a minute.
So she walked away from her
That's
job.
okay, they have a list of names.
Kathy, you're willing to take the minutes? I know.
It's awful, it just gets worse.
In
Like I
what
said, I have a
capacity?
hearing problem, so you have to talk so I can hear you.
Okay,
And you have to talk over them.
I have a question.
How are you?
Are we, oh, Betty Shingle, are we going to do background checks on these new employees?
I'm not an employee.
No, I'm not talking, I wasn't talking about you. I wasn't talking about you. I'm talking about like the new office person that you're getting and whatever.
I would hope so,
Okay, thank you.
but good luck with that.
Bob Wright, I have a question, and this looks, I can kind of see that I think this is gonna come up several times. It looks like you're gonna have to get a new secretary now and probably other down through this list. Who is going, how